his name is Emu-sama? Or is it Umi-sama? Does that mean nothing to you? Well, if it means nothing to you, let's have a look at this. The Japanese word for pirate, kazoku. You see that? What's the Japanese word for ocean or sea? Umi, which is emu backwards.
The Gorosei bow to him. He controls them, and the celestial dragons, however he wants. Not to mention the Marines and world government. Basically, that means he controls 170 countries. He's truly the king of the sea. Umi no o, Imu-sama. So, he rightfully sits on the empty throne. So, it leads us to think, what's the difference between the king of the pirates and the king of the sea? Gold D. Roger and Umi-sama, or Imu-sama. Well, they're definitely opposed. That's why he uses his organization, the world government, and Marines to take out pirates. The world government came out of the Void Century. The ancient civilization got wiped out or scattered and had its history destroyed, except for the poneglyphs made in Wano and somehow distributed to Skypiea and other places around the world. We don't know where Big Mom or Kaido took their actual poneglyphs from. Maybe Whole Cake Island or Whole Cake Chateau used to be the Emerald City, and Big Mom found the poneglyph there and called it headquarters and changed the landscape with her soul power. Alright, now we need to talk about Mihawk. I'm inclined to believe Mihawk is Emu's descendant. They have the same eyes, and so does Cavendish. But now, Mihawk himself is extremely interesting. Just based on what we know about him, he's the closest person to being the Pirate King, more or less. Think about it, the man with the most freedom on the sea. Neither pirate nor marine, yet on good terms with both. Even appointing himself one of the 7 warlords of the sea. He travels from the blues, like North Blue and South Blue, to the New World, across the Grand Line with little or no opposition. He's known as the strongest in the world, in his own right. He doesn't use a ship, just a raft. So why doesn't he become or aspire to be the Pirate King? It's likely he knows the truth of the Void Century and Raftel, and just as Rayleigh said, even if you know, there's nothing you can do about it. The fact that Mihawk just kind of floats around in purgatory, doesn't take part in politics or even pirates as much as someone with his strength and ambition might, tells me he doesn't have the resources to overturn this era and bring about a new one, just like Rayleigh said. So I'm of the train of thought, the true situation behind the scenes is only conquerable with a crew of Nakama you trust, with strength, and bonds with many people around the world. So, Mihawk, although being extremely strong, doesn't have the power to change anything about the real situation going on in the world. So, he supports Straw Hat Luffy by teaching Zoro, because he's noticed something about the way Luffy is as a captain, and he heard that he's a D. Just look how happy Mihawk is in these. It's as if, and when he tells Luffy, surpassing me is easier than becoming Pirate King. It's because he doesn't have the potential to do it. He doesn't have what it needs. Just look at these clips and look at Mihawk's expression.
えてみよう。よろんのはゾロ。兄貴返事してくれ。鷹の目のミホークにここまで言わせると。小僧、貴様は何を目指す？
海賊王。
険しき道ぞ、この俺を超えることよりもな。
知らねえよ。これからなるんだから。みーえ生きてる。気を失ってるだけだ。
兄貴返事をしてくれ。
ゾロ。
兄貴。ルフィ、聞こえるか？
ああ。
不安にさせたかよ。俺が世界一の剣豪にくらいならないとお前が困るんだよな。兄貴、もう喋らねえでくれ。兄貴、俺はもう二度と負けねえか。あいつに勝って大剣豪になる日まで絶対にもう俺は負けねえ。文句あるか？海賊王。
I think we got all the clues. Mihawk does know what's going on, and he just isn't the right guy to bring about that change. But he sees something in Luffy and in Zoro, so he supports them. Okay, so now we need to mention one other key player in the grand scheme of it all, who is waiting for the end game, it seems. Someone with an equal amount of freedom and an equal amount of mystery surrounding them. None other than red-haired Shanks. He's the peacekeeper and balancer of the new world. Up to this point, will he make a move in Wano now that Luffy, Kaido, Big Mom, and Eustace Kid is there? I add Kid's name to the mix because he evidently had an intense battle with Shanks, lost an arm, but kept his life. They also both have red hair. Did Shanks show him he's biting off more than he can chew, maybe? And make him have a change of heart? If they did develop a relationship of some sort, it's another reason for Shanks to come to Wano, assuming he's heard of Kid's capture. Not a lot of news gets out of Wano, as we know. But back to Shanks. He's got plenty of freedom on the sea, and is in with the Gorosei. They gave him a personal meeting during revelry, and they said, "We gave you this meeting because it's you." What's the meaning of those words? We can assume it's not because he was on Roger's crew, because he was an underling of the next generation, while someone like Rayleigh was his first mate, and he was in jail and just hangs out around Saburi. There must be more to Shanks' character, like who his parents are. But like Rayleigh, I believe Shanks knows about the Void history, Raftel, One Piece, and maybe Emu's existence. That, coupled with the fact he's a Yonko, and his actions can affect the world. Also, although seemingly opposed to each other, he and the Gorosei recognize the importance of balance of power, and in that respect they have similar goals. So why doesn't Shanks become the Pirate King? Much like Mihawk and Rayleigh, he knows he's not the right guy to do it. It's not in his disposition. He was hoping in Luffy, but now, especially after Marineford, he truly wants Luffy to go all the way. So he's doing what he can to make it harder for some people to gather that overwhelming strength needed to get to Raftel. First, just like Mihawk, Shanks sees Luffy's disposition is right to make the change and overturn everything, if he could just get the strength. And on that note, Rayleigh saw the same thing Mihawk and Shanks did and trained Luffy for 2 years. Luffy is the light, and Emu is the darkness. Emu, Umi, the king of the sea, versus the king of the pirates. One controls all, one wants to free everything and have freedom. What about Blackbeard? Didn't he eat the Yami Yami no Mi, the darkness fruit? Isn't he the main villain? The darkness to Luffy's light? Well, no. Here's why. Although ruthless and heartless in his conquering, he's a D. He desires freedom. He does everything in plain daylight. showing everyone, and proclaiming the D that's supposed to be a secret name like Luffy. Emu is controlling everything from the shadows, controlling the Gorosei, calling his throne empty as if he doesn't exist. A good criminal leaves no fingerprints, but an evil genius makes people believe they do not exist at all. If you don't know or think he exists, you can't pin any crime on him or her, no matter how bad it is. Thus, Emu is the darkness to Luffy's light, and Blackbeard is a D, through and through. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, Blackbeard is pretty crazy. Although who knows what pirates may be controlled by Emu himself, or what abilities he has, or who all actually knows of his existence. So, to wrap this up, Emu, I believe, is Umi, king of the sea, and possibly has been alive since the Void Century, with the help of the Opiopi no Mi. But let's leave that speculation for some other time. I do believe Emu is meant to be Umi, and we should understand that he is the current king of the sea, and he's in opposition to everything that the king of the pirates stands for, and he's guarding the power of the world government. Clearly he knows about the Void Century, and yeah, I think he's going to be the last boss to Luffy. So, yep. Now, one problem would be that Emu, E and Mu, in Japanese is 2 letters, whereas Emu in English would be 3 letters. So E, Mu backwards would actually be Mui, not Umi. So I'm using the Romaji. And they do that a lot in anime, where they translate the Japanese letters to English letters. So instead of Emu being 2 letters, it would be 3 letters. And then when you look at it backwards, once it's been translated into the English letters, it's Umi, which is 2 letters in Japanese, U-mi. So Emu backwards in Japanese is Mui, but when you get it down to the Roman characters and then bring it back to Japanese, it's Umi. So there you have it, guys. Please like and subscribe, and get ready to watch the battle between the King of the Sea and the King of the Pirates. Can't wait.